Oscar Brown Jr.'s daughters, Maggie Brown and Africa Brown, join me now. I'm so glad to have you guys on. Thank you for coming on. I wish we could have met, seen each other in person, but we're via satellite now. Africa, when you hear the president and then your father's song, how do you feel about the way the song has become part of the political discourse and the president using it?
Outraged, absolutely outraged. Oscar Brown Jr.'s words are being stolen to promote his hate message and intolerance, and it's absolutely wrong. Yeah. We do not agree.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely not.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah. Well, just as she said, we know that there's such a thing, they call it fair use, supposedly. Well, they say that because he's not singing it or playing the music, but fair use also would be given for educational purposes, and this is clearly political.
Yeah.
It's a political agenda that deals with separatism, racism, sexism, and it's the kind of thing that's polar opposite to what Oscar Brown Jr. was about. And so to actually quote his words verbatim every time, pulling it out of his breast pocket as if it's this coveted thing that makes him a rock star, and people are starting to request it of him because it's in such popular demand when he does it. You know, that totally is insulting. Now, never, as we came into the building, there were great quotes of men that had made great achievements, none less than my father has made in his lifetime and career. And they absolutely put the names of the men that said those quotes on the walls.
No proper credit has been given to the author of these words. And really, what our father stood for, the U.S. government system has for so long not just exploited, dehumanized, and terrorized and tormented people of color for thousands of years. This is no different than that in true colonizer form.
Do you think he even knows the origin of the poem or who the author really is? Do you think he knows that?
Yes.
I
think he does.
See how he couldn't. There were cease and desist letters that have been published both in New York and in Chicago about a good year ago, because of course he's been at this for about 2 years using these. We became aware of it some time ago. And of course our hands always felt like they were tied by this law and everything that says no, we can't do anything. And who wants to bother standing in line to sue him for things?
Because we don't have that kind of power or a lawyer or anything like that.
And that's not the point. And my first thing was conflict. I don't really want my father's name coming out of his mouth. And it wouldn't even make sense. It just wouldn't make sense because, see, the way Trump is doing this whole using these words to propose an anti-immigrant agenda that, you know, I mean, I'm no historian, you know, I'm often just busy doing the archives and working on this music, but some say that this kind of propaganda is fascist, you know, and that it leads to the kind of thing that galvanizes people in the wrong direction.
Well, the best way
what this country needs.
It's so that people will know, and you have this platform now. The song itself is an allegory. Explain people the original message of the song so they know what it really means instead of the way the president is using it.
Okay, the elephant in the room is that Trump is the living embodiment of the snake that my father wrote about in that song.
Although that wasn't the original meaning of the song. See, the original meaning of the song, is it an Aesop's fable or something?
Something like that.
It's a common sense thing that if you bring a frozen snake home and expect that when it warms up, that it will not bite you, when what a snake does is bite. That's what we always took from it. You know, the fact that, yes, don't lie down with dogs, you won't wake up with fleas kind of sensibility.
And it's an African tradition to use stories to impart wisdom.
Right.
And that's exactly what that was, teaching us about that.
It's a woman who takes a snake.
Of course, in the late 50s.
A woman takes in a snake and nurses it back to health, only to be bitten by the snake again, which is, again, is an allegory that means. And you're saying that Trump is a living embodiment of that. So he should be using it. I mean, he's the wrong person.
So most people comment.
That's right, unless he wants to change that last word when it says you knew darn well I was a snake before you took me in, he could say before you voted me in.
Wow. So your father had worked with so many legendary artists such as Max Roach, the legendary Max Roach, I should say Nina Simone. For those that don't know him, tell us a little bit about your father.
Cannonball Adderley. Tell folks about him.
Yes. Absolutely. Our father was he was a race man. And he started in Chicago. He was listening to street cries. He pulled from the community and he always gave back to the community. He always worked with people, with all people of color. He was never against immigrants, and I would like to stress that my father's words are being used to support something that he would not back. He's attacking people of brown color, and my father supported people all the time of all color, and this is just, it's a travesty. So our dad was a great jazz musician, a poet, an activist, a writer. He has plays, songs, sonnets. That wasn't all that he wrote. He wrote things like A New Generation is now on the scene. A new generation, not ugly or mean. We're standing for right, demanding fair play for everyone, and we just won't have it any other way. He wrote beautiful music.
Africa and Maggie Brown.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It was indeed
Pleasure
a
to be
pleasure
with
to
you.
meet you.
Yes, people are, yes, thank you. People are
Thank
standing
you.
together on March 1st for
Yes.
solidarity, for 11 minutes of silence for the 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country,
As we do.
as we will.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thanks
Well,
for
thank
having
you.
us
Well,
on.
that's good. That's my birthday,
Yes.
so let's hope there's something
People
better
come together.
coming out of it
That's
than
your
me getting
birthday.
older. Thank you, guys. I
what we
I
do.
can't wait to
All
meet
right.
you in
Thank you, sir.
person again. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Me too. Thank you.